Salt and sea, fire and blood, war and peace, a mother's betrayal, the kiss, mothers and sons, inventions, deviations, punches to the gullet, friendly fire, war waits for no one. Welcome to TurnTable Tuesdays reaction podcasts to Season 3 of House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones. Be forewarned, each episode carries a spoiler alert as we watch the dance of the dragons unfold. The podcasts may also reference Fire and Blood, the novel which the series is based upon. So, without further ado, Season 2 ended with a beautiful, stirring montage of the green and black forces mobilizing for war across land and by sea, as well as the ridiculous television series only subplot of Queen Mother Alicent returning from Dragonstone following a secret meeting with the usurper queen, Rhaenyra, in which the once friends and in-laws try to broker a peaceful transition of powers. Season 3 opens by almost immediately slamming us into war on multiple fronts. The Black King Daemon and his forces have decimated the Green Lannister host near the mythic locale of Harrenhal, even before the Winter Wolves of the North arrive late for battle, although they bear an impressive gift. But nearly all of the hour-long episode plunges us into the incredibly bloody and visceral aquatic battle of the Gullet, with the home navy led by the sea snake, Lord Corlys, and one of his bastard sons, trying to hold off the overwhelming and invading Triarchy, mercenaries on the side of the Greens. Lorhar, the transgendered admiral, which I believe is a typical woke invention of the showrunners, has an equally fabricated backstory with the sea snake, which causes her to deviate from the contract she signed to pursue him at all costs. She burns his ancestral home of driftwood to draw him out to her scheme. All seems lost for the Blacks at seas, until the arrival of the Blacks' dragons. Meanwhile, at Dragonstone, there's another painful mother-son interaction and another reminder of the patriarchy, which has denied Rhaenyra's claim to the throne. Only she would hardly expect it to be administered this time by one of her surviving sons. Furious that his mother has rejected his counsel about Alicent luring her into a trap, he does his own by convincing her Kingsguard to lock her into her chambers to prevent her from entering into combat to aid the Sea Snake and his navy, while he and his wife, a fellow dragon rider, rush off to provide aerial support. House of the Dragon, as with Game of Thrones before it, has often been at its best when a central battle dominates an episode. The episode continues the trend. Not only are we offered thrilling, violent sequences, impressively storyboarded and then realized into memorable set pieces, we are further provided with psychological insights, making the scenes even more visceral. Season 2 reminded us that dragons have minds of their own and can be thoroughly uncontrollable. Season 3, Episode 1, reinforces this. Jace and his wife Baela's dragons, the only two in the theater above the Gullet, are working in remarkable harmony, despite a foreshadowing of what's to come, before the unexpected arrival of a third who insists upon joining the fray on behalf of the Blacks. We learn that when dragons dance, friendly fire is also a dire possibility, and that inexperienced dragon riders are an annihilating menace to everyone. And the psychological state of a Targaryen or a Valyrian whose dragon eggs never hatch and is subject to family ridicule never leaves them, even if later in life they recover a riderless dragon. Being bullied as children, as teen, leaves harmful traces. See King One-Eyed and Reign of Valerian. George R.R. Martin's dragons are both solitary and social, like many animals. Two dragons who know one another by both sight and surely smell, but an unknown one, helmed by an inexperienced rider, ensures a tragedy waiting to happen. Rena and Sheepstealer are a flying doom machine. Vermax escapes a sure death once, but not twice, and its rider once, but not twice. The fate of a dragon and its rider is not always intertwined, but when it occurs, there are hardly sadder spectacles across this universe. Jace survives Vermax's final plunge into the sea,
but not a hail of arrows from one of the few Triarchy ships not burned by a trio of dragons. His death is quiet and devastating.
But what do you think? Feel free to agree or disagree. Just leave your comments below. And be sure to subscribe, consume more of our content, and ring the bell to be notified of when we drop more content like this. Remember, winter is coming. And thanks for listening.